Sorry, I think what's so interesting about your portrayal of Colton is that you're playing him during one of his best and worst summers of his life. And you do such a brilliant job of highlighting that contrast, showing the emotional toll of losing Rick while also meeting the love of his life. How did you approach balancing those extremes in your performance? And how different is the preparation between those arcs?
Yeah, I just wanted I really wanted to make a point about, bringing a lot of heart and depth and soul into Colton, because the Colton that we've seen so far is this really cool, you know, sly guy. But then I also, we see his grief within the group therapy, and those scenes were actually the ones I studied the most. I think I even downloaded. I think it's episode 9 of season 1. I downloaded that episode and I watched it on repeat, 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 and that's the only episode I really studied. Um, I mean, I watched the season like 5 times, but I watched the show 5 times. But I really studied that one because I really wanted to nail the vulnerable side to him, which is just something that I naturally like to bring to characters too. So I think I got a little lucky there. I think I got a little lucky there because I like to be dramatic. But yeah, it was cool because he does have this duality about him. And yeah, the preparation was different, but like you said, that was the worst and best summer of his life. And so it was just an honor to get to play both of those sides to him and like show where kind of this all stemmed from, because we all have our first traumas, our first hurts,
Mhm.
and I really want to think that like that was some of Colton's beginnings of this complex character. And yeah, it was just an honor. It was a dream, and it was cool. Like I said, I studied Jefferson's performance in episode 9, and I think he's just such a wonderful actor, and it was fun to get to study him.
That's such a defining moment in Colton's life. And I think you always bring vulnerability to all facets of your career. And you actually answered my next question for me, but like it's also so rare that you have two actors portraying the same character and you have two seasons of material to draw from. How did Jefferson's interpretation of Colton influence or impact your own approach to this role?
I mean, I'm playing younger him, so it's like I really kind of had to be him, not not Colton. I had to be, I mean, I had to be Colton, but I had to really also be a young Jefferson Brown. Um, and whatever he brought to Colton, I had to add to my book of who
Mhm.
he is. But I mean, it was cool too, because I kind of got to explore a little bit of my own version of him too, because we didn't get to see the love story begin. We didn't get to see again that dual the complexity of his character pre, middle-aged father. Um but yeah, definitely Jefferson's Colton impacted me very much so, just because um that was my main source of inspiration. And I just loved how he was so cool and fun. He's kind of like a golden retriever, golden retriever dad. And I like that was what was in my head the whole time. And I even remember when I first landed in Toronto and I walked onto set and did my fitting and everything. Um, we got a chance to speak, and he was very much like, "Hey, Dell is the dream." And it's funny because like that's what we say. I said in episode 8, I think, and he's like, "Dell is the dream. When Dell is in front of you, that's all you want. That's all you care about." And so I really drove that. And it's kind of sad because we see the downfall of poor Evelyn, but when Dell is in the room, that is all my eyes are on. And yeah, it was cool to like fall in love with Julia on screen, and get to show Jefferson's Colton fall in love.
What's also really cool about this show is that if it gets to season 4, which undoubtedly it will,
Oh,
Jefferson will now be able to take elements of your performance and influence it into his own.
God, I have chills. That's
Be-
cool. I didn't even
yeah,
think
because they
about
have such, I feel like the whole cast has such close ties to these characters and they all feel so lived in. So I'm assuming he'll definitely take.
it. Can I just say it is I gotta say this. just out loud. It is very cool as because this is my first TV show. So this is like my first like big thing. And you know that. Um, it is very cool to like see fans' reactions and then validate like the work you put
Yeah.
in. So it's really cool. Like even these questions, I'm like, oh, this is pinch me moment galore. Um, because yeah, like you know, I feel like I got a little lucky with the casting here. I mean, it was really a last minute decision for them, a last minute audition, uh, kind of on a whim. And I feel like even when I met him, I feel like we had the same vibe, but
Hmm.
acting is still acting. And so it's like I did still have to do the research and the portrayal correctly. And it's just really cool that people see it and witness it and recognize it and love it. It's just so cool. Oh,
And I think you've also said in the past that you were nervous about this being your first TV show. And I feel
yeah.
like that's going to give so much confidence, just the reassurance that the fans have given you
Yes.
throughout the season, heading into a potential season 4, where
Yeah.
you're just really trusting all the work that you've done and your instincts. And like you're saying, this is the longest that you've lived with a character in this series. And with television, you're discovering so much more about your character with every
While
episode.
filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that major reveal with Colton is also a time traveler. Was that something that you knew ahead of time? How did the writing team know?
I had no idea because we, oh, actually, okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me rewind. So we film 2 episodes at a time in blocks. So block one is like episode 1, 2, block 2 is episode 3, 4. We wouldn't read like, let's say we were filming 3 and 4, we wouldn't even know what episodes like 5 and 6 were yet at the time. And so we would do these table reads while filming the prior episodes. And it's funny, sometimes the creative team would be a little apprehensive about like what they would share with us. And there's so many moments where I'm like, I had no idea that that would eventually happen. Like there's a moment when I am so frantic coming out of the pond in episode 3, and I truly did not know the the
The
the
context.
gravity of what
Yeah.
would happen with the fire. I had no idea when I did that take, but it's so cool because it it takes you on the as the viewer along this journey too. Because like, what if I did know and I kind of gave it away a little bit too much? So they kind of we're like learning with you guys too. Maybe just like a little earlier, but uh yeah. But I did know that Colton would be time travel ish by episode 3, but I didn't know how far, the gravity of it until episodes like 7, because 7 is when I start getting a little sus
Yeah.
with Alice. I'm like, what do you what do you know? But then yeah, and then the fire happened. Getting to go to the 1800s in the show was just a dream come true. Like as a fan of the show, that was pretty cool. However, the traveling in the pond was very cool, pinch me moment, but it's they're hard days on set. So yeah.
What is your reaction then when you read in episode 308 the lyrics? Is that just like a giveaway then?
Oh,
The
the
lyrics of the song. Yeah.
Reed song. Yeah, I mean, well, so by then I knew about time travel, but yeah, the whole idea behind that song is like it is about
Hmm.
time traveling. So there's a line, and it's funny because I love watching like the fan theories. There's a line where I'm uh totally sidetracking Alice, and I'm like, yeah, no, this song is about me taking a boat down the coast
Hmm.
to visit Dell. And I'm like, stop lying. That was a lie. It is about Dell, but it's also about Rick. It's about time
Yeah.
travel. It's about the 1800s. It's about the Landrys, and it's a lot. It's about past mistakes, the fire.
That's gonna be a lot of fun for you too as an actor because the social engagement for this show is just wild every Friday. And it also bleeds into the weekend too. And you're somebody that loves to look at those theories. What's the craziest theory you've read?
They're all really crazy. Like it's let me just talk on that for a sec. So I love I love this social engagement part of this whole show. I love how into it everyone is. We've had a lot of fun playing with that, like
Mm.
teasing on that. So we've made a bunch of TikToks. We kind of tiptoe and keep people on the edge of their seats. It's very fun. It's something I love to do. Um, and the fan base is very loyal. They're so loyal that they make these, they theorize everything. The craziest ones are when they like zoom in on like what did I see the other day? They zoomed in on a footprint in the mud and they were like, whose shoe is that? Oh my God, that's gotta be Thomas's shoe. And I'm like, no, I'm sure it's a crew member's shoe by accident or mine because I stepped in the.
I
Yeah.
also find it really funny that you manifested this role for yourself, and there's such a natural comfortability that's so captivating to watch, especially in that studio scene in episode 308. When you feel truly in your element, how do Colton's musical ties allow you to connect with him on a deeper level? And what was your reaction when you finally read that scene, knowing that you had recorded those songs at the start of the filming season?
I was just texting a friend about this actually 45 minutes ago. First of all, getting to do music on this show was dream come true. And I actually didn't even know that this would be so music heavy. I mean, when I got the audition sides said that I would be serenading Dell on a dock singing Waterloo, and I didn't really know how to play guitar. So I played my one chord and I went Waterloo. Na, 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 na. And I like played it a little jokey because, it's a public dock. We're in a park. And then when I got the role, the first thing that we did when I landed in Toronto was straight into a studio. And I was like, what the heck? This is so cool. And just like you said, I felt so for it being like my first big series thing, I felt so in my element getting the chance to like sit in a studio and be really hands-on with the music element of this show and this character. It totally let me ground my own feet into this character. And like that is such a dream come true. Like this truly was like a match, what feels like to me like a match made in heaven. And yeah, I mean, getting to sing the duet with Sadie, who plays Alice, I mean, that was so full circle, especially as a fan of the show. But then also getting the chance to sing the Everything I Wanted, the song for
Yeah.
Dell, the secret song for Dell, like that is my favorite. Episode 8 is my favorite for a reason. And that is probably why we were like, let's wait till 8 for this interview.
I feel like it's going to be the standout moment this season. And I think credit to the writers too, that they play to the strength of their cast because there's so many of you that are so musically inclined. And to your point too, it almost feels like Sadie steps out of her character in that moment and is just watching you perform. It's a really
Oh,
powerful moment. Yeah, it's a really powerful moment this season. I think there's a couple every season that I'll remember. This will be one of them as an unbiased kind of just watcher of the show. And I think there's also this really emotional connection that comes from seeing these characters at different stages in their life in such a visceral way. If you could explore another generation of a character that you've played in the past, whether seeing them in the past or the future, who would it be and what time period would you like to explore with them?
a character I played before. Okay, if anyone has seen my film Ganymede, I would love to see the character I play in Ganymede, Lee Fletcher. I'd love to see what his future looks like because that movie put him through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
He went through it all to find who he is. Uh, and I'd love to just see that. I mean, at the end of the film, we do get a glimpse. We get a happy ending. A lot of queer films don't. We have a happy ending in ours. Um, I'd love to see what his future looks like. I'd love to see like where he ends up and if he's able to heal the wounds that he has with his family. Um, I think time heals. I mean,
Yeah.
time doesn't heal all wounds, but I feel like it does. You know, it can. But yeah, to to go back on your last point a little bit, when we were filming that recording booth scene, I couldn't even look at Sadie during the Everything I Wanted solo because I like you just said, I felt like I was watching her break down and her, not even
Yeah.
Alex. I thought I was seeing Sadie just totally like I couldn't look at her. I was gonna start bawling my eyes out. And like Colton doesn't know why she's crying. So like I
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
break that wall. So I was like, I can't look at you right now. I can't look at you right now. Um, but yeah. Is there another character?
Isn't that fun for you too? That like your character in his time period doesn't know the relationship that he has with Alice, but Alice does know. So all of
Yeah.
these moments are just like so much more complex for audience
It,
members that are watching.
it's tricky because it's like we know, but you just hope that you're playing it like you don't.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Yeah, you definitely did. I think everybody in the 70s, it feels like
We're in our
they're
own world.
playing, yeah, you're playing in your own world and your own
Yeah.
storylines, and you're not being influenced too heavily by what's going to happen in the present day and in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'll say is, you guys are in like episode 10 is such a treat.
Wait, that's actually the next question that I had for you. We have one more episode this season. What are you able to tease about what audiences can expect outside of having tissues ready and available?
Yeah, I feel like I said that in every interview. I'm gonna try to give you something different.
Well, I think that's like every season ends with like,
Yeah, yeah. I will say this is my favorite episode of the entire series. Because you're gonna get so many answers that you've been wanting. You're gonna it's things come so full circle in 3 entire seasons, but it poses more questions that will want you leaving more. So hopefully we are renewed. Um there's like a petition going around. I even signed it. My family signed it. But okay. I feel like I can say this because Hallmark's already posted a photo of it, but there is a wedding.
that's a good teaser. That's also saying a lot from somebody that you said you watched the show 5 times over to say that
Yeah.
this is your favorite episode of this series.
1000%. And I think it will be a lot of people's favorites as well. I'm almost 99% positive that will happen.
It's a good teaser. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
you're
But yeah, get ready for a wedding.